Exponential Roadmap's work on transition plans began in earnest last June, prompted by none other than the UN General Secretary, who placed a call out to companies around the world to write credible transition plans, and then they would get into his climate summit in New York. So his committee last year, the HLEG, had produced a report called Integrity Matters, and from that they drew a checklist of things that should be, in their view, in a transition plan. So over the summer, Exponential Roadmap Initiative helped 10 companies write plans according to that checklist. And in New York, they got to take part in some roundtables on the back of that, Ericsson being one. So what we learned from that is a few things, obviously. It was a big process and we learned a lot. But one of the things I want to touch on today is that we learned that the breadth and the scope of expectations around transition plans has expanded very rapidly. So a year ago, we thought a transition plan was, okay, how are you going to get your greenhouse gas emissions down to net zero? But the HLEG checklist, this UN-backed checklist, includes things like, how are you contributing to just transition? How are you actually going to phase out fossil fuels, not just your greenhouse gas emissions, but the fossil fuels in your value chain? How are you going to invest in climate solutions? So that and other frameworks have contributed to us seeing this as a much broader exercise. And we now talk, as you did, about transformation. So it's not really transition plans we're talking about, it's actually transformation plans. And what that means for a company is it's a broader exercise. So it's got to be at board level. We're talking about a vision 20, 30 years ahead. It's about envisioning that future and seeing where you're going to be in it. What's your company actually going to do in 2050? And it's about taking your place in society and making contribution that is worthy of your company to the wider effort.